Hello, my name's Stu, and I work with an idiot. Now, whether that idiot is one of two people, I'll leave you to decide. I'd like to welcome Harry.
Hello?
Hello, Harry, and Aaron.
Holla holla.
So, yes, one of those is the idiot, and hopefully over the next 15, 20 minutes, you'll figure out which one is. So, tonight's topic is going to be why we label people different things in society. So, dweebs, nerds, geeks, punks, goths, chavs, and the rest of it. Harry, your opening views.
My opening views?
Yes, please.
Well, what's the question?
So, I mean, why? Why do you think we feel the need as human beings to, label everyone with different things dependent on what they like?
Yeah, but I think people do it themselves, don't they? A lot of the time. I don't know whether kind of Grebo said, let's start calling ourselves Grebos, I don't know. But I reckon a lot of it starts with people themselves. So they want to call themselves something. Sometimes it's a bit stupid and it backfires, doesn't it? It's using a negative term, but if they want to call it themselves, then good on them.
And Aaron, your thoughts?
To be honest, I kind of agree with them a little bit. I didn't think that was going to happen. But I suppose in a way it's kind of hierarchical, isn't it? Like nobody wants to be a geek because geeks aren't cool. Everybody wants to be a mod or a rocker or a twat.
Well, we were having this conversation at work, weren't we?
We were, indeed.
About nerds. And in our place, kind of being a nerd is quite cool. And I don't understand why that is. There was only about, 2 people in the office that agreed out of about 25. The rest were pretty much on the nerdy side. They wanted to be nerds. And for me, growing up, if someone said, "Oh, you're a nerd," I'd be like, "Shut up." But in like the workplace, it's like, "Yeah, I am. What of it?" And then I suppose you ain't got no comeback to that. You're like, "Oh, fair enough." But to me, I don't understand why you'd want to be a nerd.
What determines what a nerd is exactly? What makes somebody a nerd?
No,
Did you find a definition of it the other day?
I didn't. Did Stu? Did you find it?
No, it wasn't me.
I'm sat here. I've got the internet. Let me go to Wiktionary.
Yeah, I've got the internet in front of me, but I'm looking at other stuff at the moment.
On boobs.
Definitely boobs.
I don't want you jacking off while you're doing this podcast.
Why not? It's the sound of your voice, Harry.
Well, yeah, don't say stuff like that, because I got to go and work with you tomorrow.
He's got to look at you in the eye.
Exactly. I don't want to sit with you thinking, I was talking last night, he was jacking off to my voice. I don't want to hear no heavy breathing, and that includes you, Aaron. No heavy breathing, no panting or anything like that. Nothing. Okay?
I've not long got back from playing football, so if I'm a little bit out of breath, it's probably that, not me getting hot under the collar. Here we go. Here we go. So on Wiktionary, the definition of nerd is, as a noun, plural, nerds, slang, sometimes derogatory. A person who is intellectual, skilled in one or more fields, and generally introverted.
Right.
Synonyms include dag, which is Australian, doofus, dork, dweeb, geek, goober, loser. This is my favourite. Propeller head.
That's amazing.
What fun. Propeller heads.
No, recently I've kind of embraced my nerdy side a little bit, but I'm definitely not introverted.
I think I'd probably see myself as slightly introverted, definitely.
Introverted?
Yeah.
I'm a bona fide rock star, my man.
I reckon if a pretty girl come up and started talking, I don't know, you would start sluttering, just be rubbish.
No, you just go with the flow. Hey, love.
No, you wouldn't. You'd be all like, I reckon like that. So that's kind of introverted, isn't it?
I don't remember ever doing that around a girl. I'm not Hugh Grant.
Maybe you haven't met a pretty girl.
I hope my ex-girlfriend doesn't listen to this.
What ex-girlfriend? Boom boom!
Oh. Funny.
Anyway, back to nerds. Yeah, so how that kind of thing about dorks and dweebs and that, none of them are good terms, right? So I would say it's a bad thing. But now, like, all of a sudden, being nerdy's cool or being nerdy's good, and I don't get it. Why would you want to be a nerd? Wouldn't want to be a nerd. The only time you'd want to be a nerd is if you're doing, I don't know, quantum physics or something like that, and they go, "Are you a nerd?" Yeah, I do quantum physics. Brilliant. That's what we need. You don't need it to be a nerd doing, I don't know, working at McDonald's, do you? Don't need a nerd there. And I'm sure there is. You look
I
at
don't know.
yeah, you know, they look like this all their time, either behind a computer screen or frying burgers. But why? They don't need to be a nerd. And if you are a nerd, what are you doing at McDonald's? Quantum physics.
That's amazing. And you're not confusing quantum physics with science, right?
Right, okay. I said
that's one of my
once,
favourite Harry quotes.
taken out of context, and then it gets brought up all the time.
Brilliant. Harry, in this world of labeling different people, different things, what would you label yourself?
Well, I don't know. Cool.
Simply cool.
Yeah, cool. Not a nerd. No, I'm
You
not. I
fix
don't.
computers for a living.
I don't listen to like Korn or Marilyn Manson. I don't wear makeup, so I'm not like agreeable.
So you're not goth.
Well, yeah. Just cool, really. Just cool. I snowboard. That's a pretty cool thing to do. You know, you see a cool snowboarder, like in surfing, innit? Oh, cool dude. Yeah, I'm one of them, I think. You know, I don't think I'm a chav. People at work say, "Oh, you chav." I don't.
You are a little bit like Brap Brap Selector. Switch the mic, rewind, switch the mic, messy lyrics. You're a little bit like that.
Well, give an example.
Well, you're quite a hip hop gangster. You're from the hard hitting streets of Las Vegas. You know, you're all like Brap Brap Vanilla Ice.
Well, yeah, but I don't.
The other day you were translating normal English into street for us.
I was actually, yeah. But that help you out. I mean, I don't go into work saying all that stuff.
I'm sure one day I've heard you say like, "Oh man, look at that buff ting." Brap.
I can't see myself saying that, to be honest. You know, there's a time and place to talk like that. Maybe I talk like that with my mates, but I wouldn't do it in work. I never wear like my tracky bottoms tucked into socks. Never do that. You know, I don't own a Burberry cap, so that's probably the kind of chav statement, isn't it?
It's a pretty outdated view of chavs, though, isn't it?
What?
These days they don't really wear Burberry, from what I can see at least. That's kind of, heading back, 8-9 years now, isn't it?
Oh, right. And what caps are they wearing now then?
It's all about shell suits nowadays, isn't it?
Yeah, so that's what I thought.
Shell suits. You going back to the 80s, yeah?
That's the thing with trends, is they go full circle.
Well, you say that, but not all trends.
Yeah, you never know.
Well, yeah, I do know. Some of them. I can't see them ever coming back.
I'm longing for the day the mullet is back in fashion.
Yeah, I can't wait for that day.
Are you going to have one, Aaron?
Too right.
Business at the front, party at the back.
Exactly.
See, this is the people I'm working with. People who want mullets coming back.
They'll come back. I guarantee you.
I can't see it.
Weren't you the man that said, like, in 50 years we're gonna, like, live forever or something? Was that you?
I wouldn't say something like that.
That's amazing.
That someone said that in 50 years we're going to invent something that means we're never going to die.
Oh, that was Ballbags, mate.
Was it Ballbags, mate?
Yeah, they've got like £1,000 bet on.
He sounds like a bit of a mental.
Oh, yeah. So the bet is, in 50 years' time, if we got to a point where humans can live forever, our good friend Ballbag owes his mate £1,000. If, however, in 50 years that's still not the case, then Ballbag's mate owes him £1,000. Now, I remember this because this was ingrained on my mind for weeks. This story. It's when after they made the bet, Bullbag's friend turned around and went, "It's a bit of a win-win for you, isn't it?" And Bullbag's like, "What? Well, what do you mean?" He goes, "Well, either you're going to get £1,000 or you're going to live forever." And that was the story of how they come to reach this agreement.
That's just amazing.
They're idiots.
A win-win situation.
Well, what I said actually towards this, we were on a little walk, weren't we? And I said, I reckon in about 50 years' time, everyone's going to be ill.
Everyone's going to be ill.
Yeah. Everyone's going to have some kind of disease because they're letting more and more ill people reproduce. And, I mean, it's going to be manageable disease. I can't see anyone
The flu isn't hereditary.
No, not like that. I'm talking like diabetes and stuff like that. Where before, like when we didn't know about it, people would if people with stuff like that would die and wouldn't pass it on and stuff like that, or there would only a few. But now more and more people are living with these, like conditions. I won't say diseases, conditions. That they're kind of having babies. They're having it, and then they're having babies, and then soon, all of a sudden, everyone in the world's got diabetes.
Doesn't diabetes come about though from a combination of a poor diet and a lack of exercise?
That can give it is also hereditary as well.
Yeah, that's what I said about that. So if anything, we're doing ourselves an injustice now by letting people live.
So, I mean, Darwin's theory of natural selection now is pretty much kaput because we're fixing everyone too well.
Yes.
Apart from, cancer and AIDS and all that. I mean, we can't cure that yet.
Well, yeah, but they still manage. They still go on. I'm not talking about cancer, but let's talk about AIDS and stuff like that. I mean, there's like HIV and stuff like that. They kind of can prolong it, and so then they have a longer life, and then they might have kids or whatever like that, and then they've got it, and it just goes round, and then it still exists.
Is AIDS hereditary?
I reckon if you've got AIDS and you have a kid, it would have AIDS. It's in the bloodstream, isn't it?
I mean, I watched a sick news story. Some church or some cult church was telling people that they could heal HIV by the power of the Lord, and this woman would shout in these people with HIV's face and spray holy water on them, and then tell them to stop taking their medication because they were now cured of HIV.
And these people believed it.
Yes, they genuinely stopped taking their medication.
Where was this, America?
No, this is in England.
You're kidding me.
No, genuinely, 100%.
What people thought, oh yeah, hold on a second. Years and years of scientific research. Oh, no, we're just crazy to believe this crazy woman that's going to check this water on her face. Oh, I'm cured now. Are these people mental?
These people are really ill and obviously are trying to find a cure, a quick cure, because they don't want this disease anymore. So some of them are going to want to try anything, aren't they?
Just face it. I would say to them, I say you've been dealt a bad hand. I mean, if I was told that, I'd go, yeah, what can you do for me? They go, oh yeah, we can belong here, yeah, enjoy life and stuff like that. But don't go around doing these crazy.
Just to pull back, it can actually go from mother to child, including pregnancy, childbirth, and breastfeeding.
Is that AIDS and HIV? Is it?
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
I'm right. As always.
And if the mother is without treatment, per 10,000 exposures, there's a 25% chance that you'd catch it. But if she's receiving optimal treatment, that reduces to 1 or 2%. Yeah, I didn't know that. So every day's a school day.
Every day is indeed a school day.
And if you fillet a man, there's a 0.01% chance.
Pretty much worn that one out, haven't we?
Worn that one out. Is it time for some music?
Well, let's move.
I think it
Let's
is.
move away from AIDS.
Yeah, let's definitely move away from AIDS. Harry, is it your choice for music now? Is it?
Yeah. What I've decided, every week I'm gonna put a remix out there for everyone, and then they can enjoy the kind of music that I'm enjoying, and it's going to be like my song of the week. But because this is going on YouTube, you know what they're like with bloody WMG or whatever like that, music BMI or whatever like that. They stop it, don't they? They put a mute on it, whatever like that. So if we do a remix, then there's no problem with that, and also you can enjoy some music. So, okay, so this week's remix is going to be The Police versus Coldplay, Roxanne, Put On the Red Light.
And there you go. That's two songs I definitely wouldn't put together. Well done, Aaron. Onto your part of quote of the week then.
Right, quote of the week. So the idea here is every week we will find out a quote from Harry or somebody else, and if it's particularly stupid, then we will air it for everybody who listens, both of you, to enjoy. It was originally going to be something that Harry said in the week, but I've totally forgotten what that was. So, quote of the week is probably Jeremy Clarkson saying that he would take the civil servants out and shoot them in front of in front of their families. I kind of agree with him a little bit. You know, they went on strike a little bit early, and they didn't really achieve anything.
Yeah, they got points, most.
You know, striking should be your last. That's your last. Like, it's balls out the bath. It's this or nothing. And they've gone, oh, don't like that, strike.
What annoyed me, I was watching it on BBC News, right? And there's one scene that they showed, and there was a load of old people in wheelchairs being pushed along and supporting, had the banners up, and I just thought, what the hell are you doing there? You've already had your pension. Don't affect you. Why are you getting involved? Go home, you know? Why are you going on the streets and stuff like that? It's got nothing to do with you. Jog on. You know? But that's what annoys me about that. People want to spend their holiday walking the streets with banners and signs. That's fair enough. But you know, if it doesn't even involve you, don't get involved. You know, I'm not going and striking about people have already got their pensions, crap or something like that. Well, they're not going to take away their pension that they've already got. Just stop moaning. You've already got your pension. You've probably got a good pension. Just stop moaning. Being in a wheelchair, you've obviously had your pension for some time. Some of these are over 90. They've probably been drawing a pension for 40 years. Jesus, like,
Oh my god!
Love it.
That's amazing. Carry on.
I know, that just annoys me. I'm sure it annoys other people. You see these people and they go, "Oh, my pension's so rubbish." No wonder it's rubbish. You drew it out in 1960. Just, stop moaning about it. You've had it for so long. It used to be, you got to pension age, you had the golden handshake, a couple of years, you're dead. Right. Good for a couple of years, That's the problem with the pension. There's too many people living for too long, taking too much money. They didn't plan for people to live 40 years like they do now and 100 years. And you die at 100 now, you've been drawing your pension for 40 years. You're drawing your pension as much as you've worked. It's ridiculous. And then they never used to pay for it, did they? And there's all your non-contributory, and that's why all the money is. So now we're going to have to pay for them to keep them going and try and put some money in the pot for us. By the time we get there's not going to be any left because all these people are still bloody retiring at 60 or whatever like that. It's ridiculous, isn't it? Yeah, that's...
Wow.
I kind of want to argue the point, but he's kind of right. But then if we pull it back, when obviously Bullbag and his friend, in 50 years then we could be all screwed. There won't be a pension for anybody.
Exactly.
Retired or otherwise.
You have to carry on working, wouldn't you? Forever. If you never died, you just keep working. Until literally...
What if you still have to book a desk in 50 years' time?
Yeah. You'd be there and, I don't know what the cut-off date would be. That is it. I don't know. This machine doesn't make you live like at the same age forever. Like, you still grow old and you're still like 150 and basically you can't walk. You're shitting yourself everywhere. You don't want that in work. So at that point, is it going to be you can only retire when you can't make it to the toilet anymore? I don't know, but you'd have to work for longer. So I don't want that. At least at the moment, we've got an age where we can say, right, that age, if we make it there, we don't have to work anymore. Brilliant. But if that convention come along, crap. When you retire, you're always going to be working. depressing. There'd probably be more suicides once you found out you could live forever.
I don't know what to say. I actually I kind of agree with you.
Oh, well, you say it in like a surprising manner, like everything I say is going to be ridiculous. I keep trying to tell you, like at work, I'm a, I'm normally right.
So Harry, onto your moron of the week. Who is your moron of the week? I think we got a jingle for this. We got a jingle, Aaron.
Harry's moron of the week.
Yeah, so normally more another week I pick someone. I mean, hopefully, if this kicks off this whole podcast, people could write in their own more of the week. Saves me a job doing. Normally, I would go on the internet, go like searching, network, whatever you do, find someone who's done something stupid. I was a bit hungover today because I was out last night, getting obviously smashed. So I thought for the first moron of the week, I just pick someone I don't like, and that's Piers Morgan. So he's my moron of the week.
And why is he a moron?
This week.
This week, well, he's a moron every week, I think. He's probably done something this week. But I think he was on the thing moaning about journalists, wasn't he? And he was one of them. And he's if I saw him, I'd even if I didn't know him or anything like that, I'd think, yeah, I bet he searches bins. And that's the type of person I think he is. He would go for your bin, and that's why he's a moron. And all the journalists and kind of do stupid things like that. So it's Piers Morgan and kind of journalists who go around looking in people's bins and making up stuff and tapping phones and stuff. So that's my moron of the week. All right.
Brilliant.
I follow Piers Morgan on Twitter, and he's actually quite funny.
Oh, see that doesn't surprise me as well. Why would you follow Piers Morgan? He's a twat.
Because, like I said, he's actually quite funny.
Funny with what? What? Tell me something funny he said.
Well, he's forever taking the piss out of Alan Sugar. That's always quite entertaining.
Right.
And like people abuse him, so he replies. And he winds up footballers, corrects their spelling, things like that. It's always quite funny.
Right. Ah, see, that's another one that people correcting other people's spelling. Just why? What's the point of it?
Why not?
See, it happens all the time at work. I'll explain to the listeners, like the two of them, that we're at work. We've got this instant messaging chat thing. We're typing in it, blah 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 blah. A lot of it is I would say you could use speak or I am speak on it. But as soon as you make one bloody mistake, there's about 5 of them going, actually it's this, laugh out loud and all this like, and you're just like, for Christ's sake, I spell a word wrong. It's not going to change anything, correcting me, just being anal.
And you like anal, don't you, Harry?
I don't like anal, and that's the point, Maybe that's why I haven't chosen to be gay, because I don't like anal things. Maybe it's like that. Maybe someone who likes correcting mistakes. What's that other thing? Retentive. Anally retentive. Maybe that's why they're. Maybe.
This is the most tenuous link as to a reason why you'd choose your sexual alignment one way or the other that I've ever heard. He corrects spelling. He must level up the ass.
Yeah, but I reckon Piers Morgan's gay.
Isn't he married?
Yeah, isn't he married?
I thought he's divorced and his kids ate him. I'm not surprised. I'd ate him. If I was his kid, I'd change my surname. I'd say I had nothing to do with him. I don't know who he is.
He's also got one of the highest rated shows on TV in the US as well, with Piers Morgan tonight.
Well, they watching him because they hate him. I don't know. Is it like?
It's like a chat show.
Yeah, but everything we like, well, we don't like. America tends to like anyway, didn't they? They're just the opposite. They probably thought, oh, they don't like him. We like him. Like Justin Bieber or whatever like that. We don't like him.
Nobody likes Justin Bieber. Only teenage girls and idiots like Justin Bieber.
But in America, they love him, don't they?
Well, teenage girls love him. Apparently, he likes teenage girls as well. But
Well,
we won't get into that.
yeah, but
Maternity case and that.
well, yeah, I don't know what to talk about, but to be honest, fair play to the guy. If I was in that position, I'd have my end away all the time. Obviously, legally, I'd make sure that they were of legal age. And passport.
But he's a proper Jesus squad and doesn't believe in all this sex before marriage and everything, does he?
Why has he got one of those rings? Does he?
Fuck knows.
He did, didn't he? I think he was there with like the Jonas Brothers and that. But they were probably all in rehab by now.
Yeah, everyone says that. You know, all these people go, "Oh, I'm not going to have sex before marriage." It's normally the ugly ones, isn't it? To be fair, normally the people that can't have sex that say that, and you're like, "Oh, is this a choice that you've made, or is it a choice they've made?" And they're like, "Oh, I believe in this," and you're like, "I wonder why you believe in that. Is it so when someone says, 'Have you had sex?' You don't have to have some embarrassing chat to say, 'No, I haven't had sex.' They can go, 'Oh, I don't believe it before marriage.' Yeah, all right. You're having, no one's offered it you. You know, and that's he's probably the same. He's probably gone, "Oh, when he was younger, but everyone said, 'Oh, you got girly hair,' and he probably went, 'Oh, I don't want sex before marriage.' And then when he got popular and a few girls started to like his hair and liked him, then he thought, 'Oh, let's get my end away.' And then he obviously changed his views of the world. But that's all right. He was young, you know. Saw these like late teens and stuff like that. Yeah, come on.
Well, I don't know how to follow that up. That's.
Ugly people don't get laid. That might be my new quote of the week.
But what about? I mean, I'm just going to check this out there. You're saying this sex before marriage because ugly people, are too ugly for sex before marriage. So, I mean, what happens, right? If an ugly bloke and an ugly girl get together and want to make little ugly babies, what's stopping them? They're not going to go, "I don't believe in sex before marriage," just because the other one's ugly.
Well, that's when they change their views, isn't it? Or they get, that's when they turn around and they go, "Oh, actually, I found someone that would have sex with me." I'm changing from you at least want a certain standard, and that's why you do it before, innit? You want a standard. You know, you're marrying, effectively, you're marrying for the rest of your life. You don't want to get on the wedding night and go, "Oh shit, crap." Also, word of wisdom: someone wise once told me, never marry a virgin.
Never marry a what?
Virgin.
And why?
They'll always wonder, maybe there's someone better. How good are they actually? You know, they might think, "Oh, you might be really good," but if they've got no comparison, then you go, "Oh, how was it? Yeah, it was right. But I don't know. Could have been better. I don't know." You know. So always, that's my tip of the week. See, another tip of the week. Harry,
But if
Harry's tip for your tip.
yes, tip for your tip. We should bring that in. And if anyone else has got one in, I know. Where's this going on YouTube? Is it or Twitter?
Wherever I can upload it.
There'll be comments. People love comments now. Then they come on here and go, "Oh, it's shit," and all this lot. Anyway, if anyone else has got any tips about this, then you're more than welcome, and then we'll sift through them, and we'll pick one out for next week.
So what happens like if a guy and a girl got together and let's say they're 15 and they got together,
Yeah.
and so they're virgins, it's not legal, blah blah blah, and life goes on and they're together for a very long time and then one day they get married.
Right.
Just because they might no longer be virgins at that point, they're still not going to have any experience necessarily of anybody else.
Well, I mean, that's only my view. I mean, if people meet their ideal person or whatever like that and stuff like that, but just those things you never know. It's when you got together quite young. They say that, and it's very rarely that you should go out there, maybe meet other people, just test the water and stuff, and then you might look back and go, "Oh shit, they were the best," but then at least you know that then. Otherwise, you'll always be thinking, "Oh, is there anyone better, you know? And that's why all these people, they get together so young. It was all romantic and stuff like that, and then normally it's divorce, isn't it? I mean, there's some cases that they don't, but that's probably part of it. I'm not saying that is fully part of it, but that might be a part of it. They might think, oh, you know, I don't know what it's like being with anyone else. It could be better. What about you, Aaron? What do you believe in then? You reckon, yeah, just one partner, fine.
Well, why not? If two people love each other very much, then why can't they just be happy?
No.
Look at Charles and Camilla.
Oh, yeah, but, you know,
Look at Kim Kardashian. You know, she got happily married and happily ever after for 60 odd days.
exactly. But, I mean, I don't think that's in the same boat. I don't think she was a virgin, whatever like that. And we know Charles wasn't, you know. I don't really. Were we allowed to talk about monarchy things like this? I don't know.
I don't think the royal family are going to listen to this. I'll be honest.
They might do.
If Wills is listening, if he wants to put a word in with Kate Middleton's sister for me, then go ahead, by all means.
You've got no chance, Aaron. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to say this, but I don't think you've got any chance with Pippa Middleton.
Who knows? Who knows?
Well, I do.
And who's the stalker now with Harry knowing her name?
She was everywhere, wasn't she?
Really?
Oh, yeah. When they would get married, they were like, oh, this is her sister, blah, 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 blah. Look at her ass, blah, 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 blah. So, all right. Yeah, okay, it's quite a nice ass, but don't keep banging on about it. It's not about her ass, is it? It's about a wedding. Like the future King of England and Queen or whatever. You know? Why are you banging on about her ass all the time? That's Sky News, isn't it?
So does she have a nice house?
Probably why Piers Morgan was on tonight. They grab him on, don't they?
You've got it in for Piers Morgan, haven't you?
I tell you what, I wouldn't piss on him if he was on fire. I'd piss on the bit that wasn't on fire. So, say his head was on fire, his hair was on fire, I'd piss on his shoes. That much I hate him. I just don't like him. He's creepy. He's slimy. Yeah, slimy. And anyone
He's probably quite a nice guy.
who follows him on Twitter, laughing at his pedantic jokes, who are just as bad as him.
But then you've got in for Twitter users pretty much full stop.
Well, Twitter is pointless.
But why? What makes you think that?
The only thing that's come out of Twitter is it was a good way to start riots in London and all over the place. Oh, hey, let's get yourself to the precinct. We're going to rob Sports Direct. Oh, are we? Oh, brilliant. Let's stick it on Twitter. Hey, let's all go down to Sports Direct and nick Don Aister. Oh, no, that's the only Twitter. Oh, it's these South kind of celebrities, minor celebrities, not even proper celebrities. The proper celebrities get their management to do it because they don't want to waste time in it. But all these minor celebrities going, oh, I done this, or I'm having a shit. I don't care if you're having a shit. Why would I care if you're having a shit? Yourself. It annoys me. These celebrities going on there going, oh, all these people care what I'm doing. Why do you care what they're doing? Spend more time on your own self, you know? That's why this probably economy's going to shit. Because you're spending too much time worrying about when Piers Morgan has corrected some footballer's spelling. Just get on with your life. Stop wasting your time on Twitter. You know?
But what about, like, breaking news? Twitter's
What do you
probably
mean?
the best medium for that.
Absolutely.
Right, okay, tell me something that I couldn't wait to see. Something that I needed to know at the second it was happening, rather than watching it or read it in the newspaper the day after.
Well, there was that one bloke who live blogged as the helicopters came in to take out Osama, wasn't there? So literally, as it was happening, some bloke was letting the world know through the medium of Twitter what was going on and what was happening from his point of view.
Yeah, but no one knew the bloke, so no one was reading it.
But people spread it. That was the point. And then there was like 300,000 people following this guy in like minutes.
Yeah, but why do you need to know? Why do you need to know that piece of information? All I needed to know is they went in there, they done the business, chucked his body out to sea, done. Well done, lads. I don't need to know it in real time, do I?
Well, I mean, why not? I mean, a lot of people will want to hear stuff literally as it happens. I mean, I know a lot of the football team, like Premier League sides, update their Twitter with like goal flashes. So people who can't watch the game or whatever follow them on Twitter, get goal flashes.
I just watch Match of the Day. Why do they need to know it that second? Is it going to affect their lives? Get on with your lives. You don't need to know whether. Just watch Match of the Day. It's all in an hour and a half at the end of the night. You can see the goals then. You're probably going to watch it anyway. Why do you need to know what side of your life that a goal's gone in? It's not like, a goal's gone in, it's going to change your life,
I actually do now want to steer the topic away from football because I realise I'm talking to a Newcastle and a Chelsea fan. So let's move away from that. I think we have indeed come to the end, and thank you to our 2 listeners, according to Harry, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, maybe there'll be 4. Also, like I said, anyone that wants to say any more another week, get him in, and then I'll stick for him, and we'll pick him more in. If you want to shout out to your mate who's a moron, you say no surnames, just kind of a name, place where you live, and a little description of why they're a moron, and then I'll decide whether they are a moron.
You can tweet that to us
at Work with an Idiot, or email to iwwai@hotmail.co.uk.
Well, until next time then.
Until next time, I work with an idiot.
Ta-da.
So long.